Speaking of saving lives, 110 million. That's how many people have recovered from COVID worldwide. That's 100 million different survivor stories, lives saved as time was running out for them. And for a Bossier City man, his time nearly ran out twice. And as he sees it, the last time with only 15 minutes to spare.
He's the most gentle human being in the world, but he's convicted.
Bill Broadway is one proud pop. His son Landon just graduated nursing school a few weeks ago as he begins a career of saving lives.
When he wants results, I mean, nobody works harder.
Or as his dad sees it, continues his career of saving lives.
There's no question about it.
Because Dad nearly lost his a few months ago. He says if not for his then very persistent nursing student son of his.
We never thought that this would happen to him.
But it did, just as his kids were heading into Thanksgiving break. Their time together taken away after Bill was diagnosed with COVID-19 and those kids forced to spend the week at their grandparents' right next door.
I was keeping up to date. You know, you text me how you're feeling. I check on how you feeling today.
Landon was on break from class, but wasn't about to leave everything he'd learned back on the Louisiana Tech campus.
At first, he was very fast to respond. He was very quick to how you feeling? Good.
But with every hour that passed,
he started texting and not really making any sense.
And questions asked.
He would text me, "What is your oxygen?"
Landon wasn't liking what he was reading. Bill was giving him updates from his portable pulse and oxygen meter.
I remember the point where he was asking me questions, and I knew I was having trouble coming up with the answers, and he finally said, "Stop. FaceTime me."
When he showed me and it was 87 on there, I said, okay, I said, you're reading this wrong.
With his oxygen levels low, his dad was disoriented, and Landon quickly realized he had been reading the numbers backwards.
My fear was I was about to walk into him being unresponsive.
911, what's going on there? He's COVID, he's struggling to breathe.
With paramedics now on the way,
I heard this back door come open.
Landon led the charge through the back door, helping his father until he was taken out the front door by paramedics a short time later.
Man, wondering if I was going to see the people I loved again.
When it came, it's like a dream.
Longtime critical care nurse Nanette Foster admits COVID brought even the most medically experienced to their emotional knees in the beginning.
That was the very disturbing thing for me. We're going to face something we've never faced before.
But by November, some 9 months' time into this pandemic,
I remember walking in the room telling him I was going to help him.
This 40-year veteran of saving lives was determined to help save another. Within days, as Bill's oxygen levels continued to decline.
With COVID, it's almost like you have a window.
Nanette knew his window of time to do something was quickly closing before they were left with no choice but to put him on a ventilator.
I remember a lady walking in and saying, "Mr. Broadway, do you have a living will?" And I looked at Annette.
With COVID patients, once they get to a point where they're ventilator supported for longer periods of time, the chance of mortality just increases. It just does.
For Bill, he says it felt like his time was truly running out. That was until his nurse, Nanette, suddenly asked his doctor for more of it. Time.
She said to that person, "Give me 15 minutes. He said, "You got 15.
That 15 minutes, emotionally and literally, felt like his entire lifetime, as Nanette quickly went to work, flipping Bill onto his stomach.
For some reason, I don't know why he hadn't been prone before.
It's a sometimes tricky move that can open up the lungs and increase the flow of oxygen. And for Bill,
That 15 minutes, I'll never forget. She didn't leave my side.
a painful but helpful one that led him closer to something he feared was slipping away for good.
Breathe in your nose and out your mouth, everything you got.
Time.
At that moment, it probably seemed very heroic, but these are things that we do every day.
He told her, "Keep doing what you're doing. You got 15 more minutes."
Because I feel like God would use somebody else if it wasn't me. If I hadn't been there at that moment, it could have been somebody else.
Bill gave me a list of people to thank that reads like movie credits. Obviously, I can't mention everyone, but that list includes his fiancee, Michelle. The Shreveport Fire Department, who had to make that run from the other side of the Red River since Bossier ambulances were all tied up. Nurse Ethan, who held his hand and just talked. Nurse Priscilla, who shared prayers. The volunteer Pink Ladies inside Highland, and everyone inside that Christus Highland Hospital.